Shri Gurucharitra Chapter 41 Shri Gurudev Datta Parabrahmane Namaha. An account of Kashi pilgrimage boon to Sayandeva. Namadharaka requested Siddha Yogi to tell something about his ancestors. Accordingly, Siddha Yogi, continuing his narration, said, Hey Namadharaka, before Shri Guruji's arrival at Gangapur, he had stayed in the village Osar for some time. That time your ancestor Sayandeva practiced devotion towards Shri Guruji in an ideal manner. Once he invited Shri Guruji to his wife and worshipped him in a very unique way and performed Bhiksha Seva. Shri Guruji was very much delighted with his intense devotion and affectionately graced him by conferring a boon. This has been already elaborated to you by me in chapter 14 of this Charitra. Later, Shri Guruji left the village Osar and travelled further in the southern direction, and after a few days' journey arrived at Gangapur and stayed there. During Shri Guruji's tenure of stay at Gangapur, his fame and glory spread by leaps and bounds in all the directions. Influenced by his glory, several devotees and the sentimental ones flocked to Gangapur in order to have the fortune of his darshan. The devotees of Shri Guruji, so arrived at Gangapur, were engaged in the service and devotion of Shri Guruji and got their desires fulfilled. This being so, your ancestor, a great devotee of Shri Guruji, Sayadeva, who was highly impressed by listening to the glory and profound fame of Shri Guruji, too with a strong urge in his mind to see Shri Guruji, travelled towards Gangapur on foot in a very cheerful mood. After some time, he arrived near the mutt premises. While he was a little away from the mutt, he prostrated from there itself again and again and reached the mutt where Shri Guruji stayed. He had the vision of Shri Guruji and paid obeisance. He rolled on the holy feet of Shri Guruji and swept the dust off his feet. He felt very happy for having seen Shri Guruji and thought that his birth's supreme values have been achieved. 8 kinds of passions sprang in him. He had a strong conviction that Sri Narsin Saraswati Guruji was verily the divine form of great Master Sri Dattatreya. Out of gratitude, Sayadeva repeatedly saluted Shri Guruji. He declared that as a result of Shri Guruji's vision, his ancestors had been gratified and attained salvation, and that all his sins had been washed away. Thus saying, he caught hold of the lotus feet of Shri Guruji and eulogized him in the following manner. O the eternal Brahma, beneath your feet there is a confluence of countless sacred places. Today I am extremely fortunate for having seen the visible manifestation of Sri Datta Guru in you. Thou art the master of the universe, who has appeared in the form of great sage Narsimha Saraswati. You are the direct manifestation of divinity. Those devotees who seek darshan of your sacred feet shall earn the merit of visiting all the sacred places. So far, you have exhibited countless unbelievable miraculous plays to the world, which prove beyond doubt that you are the God in person. Therefore, I do not wish to part with your holy feet. Shri Guruji was highly delighted by the devotional praise of Sayadeva and assuring him shelter, laid down his ambrosia-rayed hand on his head and said, O Sayadeva, indeed you are my real devotee. I am delighted by your hymns. In reality, the hymns which you have uttered in my favor are the hymns addressed to the Holy Trinity themselves. From the benefit you have realized through your eulogizing phrases, let all people from your clan be subservient to me and practice devotion towards me throughout their life. Thus saying, Shri Guruji conferred a boon to him. Then Shri Guruji instructed Sayadeva thus, Dear Sayadeva, instantly you should leave now for Sangam for a bath. Get yourself purified at Sangam by having a holy dip and adore the people tree devotedly. Thereafter, you shall today participate in the midday meal ceremony with me. As per the instructions of Shri Guruji, Sayadeva left for Sangam and had a bath there. Later, he performed other rituals and worshipped the people tree. After completing all the rituals, he returned to Mutt and had a meal with Shri Guruji in a mass meal ceremony. Thereafter, Shri Guruji, while relaxing in the Mutt, called Sayadeva and affectionately inquired about his occupation, means of livelihood, native place, family, and other related matters. To that, Sayadeva replied thus: "Oh my God, Shri Guruji, for your kind information, I am the resident of northern Kanchi village. By the grace of Shri Hari and Guru, all members of my family are leading contented and happy life. By your grace, we do not have any deficiencies or problems in our family. However, the only deficiency which I have in my life is that I am deprived of a divine opportunity of serving the lotus feet of Shri Guruji, the aspiration which I am nourishing since long, which is the root for purification of the mind. My living is only for serving Guru. My life is dedicated for Guru only. But so far I have been unfortunate for not having been blessed with a Guru. I have come here with a strong inclination that the remaining part of my lifespan be dedicated in the service of Guru. I have surrendered everything at your lotus feet." Shri Guruji, after listening to his firm resolve, smiled for a while and told him thus: "Hey Sayadeva, I am an ascetic by religion. Wandering around the country is my supreme religion. I do not have any settled life as I am on the move constantly. I stay at different places for short periods. To be engaged in my service is not an easy mission as you have contemplated. You still do not have any experience of serving a guru. To be in the service of a guru is the most tedious and troublesome affair. You may have to bear several inconveniences and encounter heavy odds while being in my service. How can you manage with that when you are not accustomed to such a lifestyle?" Sayamdeva listened to the advice of Shri Guruji coolly and with folded hands said, "Hey the Universal Master, I know one thing very well, that rendering service to Guru is the foremost spiritual means to cross over this ocean of worldly life. I am offering my head and heart earnestly at your sanctified feet. Therefore, I pray to you to kindly accord me an opportunity to be in your service. The fundamental obligation, duty for every human being in this world is to practice devotion and to be in the service of Guru. There sprouts the seed of knowledge, in whose heart the devotion to Guru dwells." Shri Guruji rejoiced at the words of Sayadeva and told him, "Hey Sayadeva, certainly you can get engaged in my services if you have in you unshaken devotion and passion." Sayadeva, who was determined, got himself engaged in the service of lotus feet of Shri Guruji devotedly. One day, Shri Guruji wanted to know the inner mind of Sayadeva. To test his devotion, Shri Guruji told your ancestor Sayadeva to accompany him to Sangam at the time of sunset, while the rest of the disciples were instructed to stay at Mutt till their return. Thus, both Shri Guruji and Sayadeva reached Sangam just a few minutes before sunset. After sunset, darkness engulfed the area. Then Shri Guruji, to test the committed devotion of Sayadeva, made to blow a terrible hurricane through his illusory powers. Due to the impact of power of wind, it appeared as if several trees were getting uprooted. Heavy downpour started. Sayadeva saw to it that Shri Guruji was not affected by rain by holding a piece of cloth over his head as a cover to Guru. It was getting darker As the night time advanced, the force of rain and impact of cold also intensified, and Shri Guruji suffered from severe cold. Shri Guruji instructed Sayadeva to leave for Gangapur immediately to collect fire substance for generating heat, to warm up his body, and cautioned him not to look to his left or right side while going to Mutt and returning. Sayadeva immediately left Sangam for Gangapur in that dreadful night by constantly remembering Shri Guruji with the help of light generated from lightning, and reached Gangapur. He collected fire substance from Mutt and returned to Sangam. While proceeding towards Gangapur, he was reminded to Shri Guruji's words that he must abstain from looking at either sides of the road. Out of curiosity, he looked on both sides of the way. He saw two serpents following him. The scared Sayadeva was on the run at a high speed, but those two serpents were continuously following him. Finally, he raced towards Sangam speedily. When Sayadeva looked at Shri Guruji from a distance, he saw thousands of shining lamps around him. He also heard the sound of recitation of Vedas clearly in the vicinity of Shri Guruji. Except Shri Guruji, no one was seen there. Meanwhile, the clouds dispersed due to appearance of moon. Sayadeva blazed up the fire he collected from the Mutt. The two serpents which followed him saluted Shri Guruji and instantly disappeared from the scene. Shri Guruji told Sayadeva that he himself sent those two serpents for his protection. Shri Guruji explained to him how difficult it is to practice Guru Bhakti, which is a rare phenomenon. Shri Guruji advised him that weighing all these intricacies involved in the services of Guru, he should reconsider his resolve of serving Guru. Then Sayadeva caught hold of the sacred feet of Shri Guruji and shed tears. He prayed to Shri Guruji in a distressed tone to advise him regarding the true nature of devotion towards Guru. As it was midnight time, Shri Guruji wanted to spend the night time by telling an interesting story related to the practice of Guru Seva and devotion. Shri Guruji began with the story thus. Hey Sayadeva, in the past, once Goddess Parvati prayed to Lord Shiva thus. Hey Master, what constitutes the real Guru Bhakti? What is the best means of practicing devotion towards Guru? What qualifications does Guru need to have? Kindly throw light on these matters and enlighten me. Then, elaborating on the topic of Guru Bhakti, the eternal Lord Shiva said, O Goddess Parvati Devi, the aspirant first of all should practice single-pointed devotion towards Guru. He must have that much of devotion towards his Guru, which he has towards the Supreme God. All desires are accomplished only through devotion towards Guru. The true devotee of Guru need not practice any other devotion than that of his Guru. He who confers eternal knowledge is to be considered as a Guru. In spiritual life, the medium of devotion towards Guru is the easiest means to follow. Rest all the means like religious vows, ceremonies, fasting, pious actions and others, though observed meticulously, are bound to face some or the other kinds of hurdles, blocks or problems. Moreover, they do not confer quick results. In the era of Kali, people are hard pressed for time, patience, determination, and hence all other means prove to be cumbersome for them. Only a few purified devotees today attain quick results by performing fire rituals, charity, religion, and other meritorious deeds. Devotion towards Guru is the highest and easiest form of devotion. Devotion towards Guru has all the potentials of conferring total empowerment. To substantiate my views, I am going to narrate to you an instance of Guru Bhakti. In the ancient period, there lived a great soul by name Trasta Brahman, who was an incarnation of Lord Brahma. He had a son who had acquired all-round knowledge in religious matters at a very young age. He was a quite courageous and sincere boy. After his third ceremony, he joined Gurukul for pursuing studies of Vedas. While studying at Gurukul, he got himself engaged in the service of his Guru devotedly day and night. Once during rainy days, his Guruji's dilapidated house developed cracks and leakage problems. Then Shri Guruji told him to arrange for an imperishable, strong, and beautiful self contained house at the earliest. Meanwhile, the wife of Shri Guruji arrived on the spot and told him to bring the best variegated colored blouse for her as she was deprived of the same. Then the son of Shri Guruji, who was present there, instructed him to bring a pair of sandals which cannot be polluted by mud and dust and are capable of taking him to the desired spot. When he was about to leave the place, the daughter of Shri Guruji came with a demand that for her sake he should bring 2 big earrings and an ivory house to play, which shall never develop cracks, become old, and supported by only one pillar, that too made out of elephant tusk, besides containing a kitchen comprising cooking vessels. That young devotee left the hermitage, promising all of them that he would collect articles demanded by them. The assignment was not so easy going affair as promised by him. That worried boy started grieving. With that job in his mind, he arrived at a dense forest. Throughout, he was thinking in his mind this way: how can I make it possible? Which in reality is impossible to accomplish. I am not even possessed with ordinary knowledge. I ought not to have promised to collect all these things. If I fail to carry the articles demanded by them, I shall be committing breach of trust. Besides, I shall be branded as a slanderer of Guru, abuser of Guru. In this hour of crisis, my only hope and refuge is my Gurudev himself. At any cost, I must obey my Guru's words. Thus, resolving firmly, he proceeded. The disciple set out for forest to collect those things and rested for a while beneath a tree, thinking as to how he could satisfy their demands. Then, on the way, he met a great ascetic Avadhuta. That ascetic wanted to know something more about that boy. That young boy prostrated before him and caught hold of his feet firmly. The boy narrated the whole story to him and pleaded his helplessness in accepting the demands that were impossible to accomplish. He told the ascetic that he was in a dejected mood. Somehow he had a feeling that the one whom he met was not an ordinary human being and that he is none other than the Lord Shankar himself. When that ascetic learnt from that bachelor boy the different tasks he had undertaken and his story, he embraced him with jubilation. He consoled him by giving an assurance of fearlessness and freedom from anxiety. Speaking to that boy, he explained thus: "My son, I am suggesting a most beneficial way out to you. You shall follow that vigorously. I assure you that your mission is going to be fulfilled undoubtedly. You need not be anxious for that unnecessarily. In this Punya Bhumi, there is a most celebrated sacred place called Kashi Kshetra. You must visit that place and worship the presiding deity Vishwanath with deep faith and devotion. His glories are wonderful and unparalleled. In that sacred Kashi, all your desires and wishes, expectations will be accomplished. You will also acquire the knowledge needed by you for fulfilling your assignment. The glory of Kashi is sheerless, unsurpassed. The moment you step into Kashi, your desires are bound to be fulfilled." That young ascetic prostrated before the great yogi and humbly pleaded thus: "Hey master, now I am in this terrible forest. I am a stranger to sacred Kashi Kshetra and I do not know anything about Kashi Kshetra. Kindly let me know in which part it is situated. What is the route to be followed to reach Kashi? And such other relevant particulars of Kashi Kshetra. I do not have anyone to accompany me to Kashi Kshetra. You only need to take me to Kashi." Looking at his miserable plight, the yogi's heart melted. He promised him that certainly he would take him to Kashi and felt happy in his heart that at least under that pretext he would have an opportunity to visit Kashi once more. They started for Kashi and by the speed of thought reached Kashi Kshetra quickly. Thus, the sage took him to Kashi by his yogic powers. Then the great ascetic told him to complete the pilgrimage of Kashi Kshetra. The boy, who was a stranger to Kashi, questioned the ascetic thus: Hey master, in which order shall I perform Kashi pilgrimage? What are the formalities and rituals I am supposed to follow there? Be gracious to let me know about all these things. I am very ignorant about the manner of undertaking pilgrimage. Besides that, I am an innocent young ascetic. This place is totally strange to me. Therefore, kindly enlighten me everything about pilgrimage. This way, the boy wanted to know more about the pilgrimage customs and formalities. To that, the ascetic replied thus: My dear son, I am certainly going to tell you the manner of undertaking pilgrimage. You must undertake it with uttermost faith, devotion, and in an orderly manner. Thus saying, he started narrating the manner of conducting the pilgrimage as prescribed in the scriptures to him. He advised him to visit all places in the vicinity of Lord Vishwanath of Kashi and perform rituals according to his capacity and merit and prostrate before Lord Vishwanath, and then to go ahead with pilgrimage to Panchakroshi. Here ends the 41st chapter in the most auspicious Shri Gurucharitra. Shri Gurudev Datta. Shri Guru Dattatreya Arpanamastu.